Corvette has not so quietly become one of the most dominant manufacturers in sports car racing over the past 2 decades. However, the debut of the Z06 GT3 in the new for 2024 LMGT3 category in the World Endurance Championship has not gone the way Corvette or TF Sport, who run the car, would have hoped. With only one top 5 to speak of as they enter the final round of WEC, the crew aboard this 81 car will push to the limit and throw caution to the wind in search for this Z06's first WEC podium. And we will join Van Rompuy aboard this number 81 Corvette as he makes his way around the pace lap and joins the field 2 by 2, lining up in 8th position as he anticipates the green flag. Van Rompuy slams the throttle as the field is unleashed down the front straight to start this 8-hour endurance race around Bahrain. He tucks in behind the 54 AF Corsa Ferrari as they hurtle into turn 1. He brakes late, nearly making it 3 wide as he goes around the outside of that 54 AF Corsa Ferrari, who fights back through the apex, but Van Rompuy is able to consolidate 7th position through turn 3, and we see dust being kicked up out front as the 92 white Manthey Racing Porsche battles with the Iron Dames Lamborghini, weaving across the track as he tries to find his way around that pink Lamborghini. Van Rompuy closes in on the Aston Martin of Ian James ahead, though, as they make their way out of turn 4. Ian James is a bit more cautious than the Corvette driver as he makes his way through these fast corners and into turn 8, this tight right-hand hairpin. Van Rompuy looks around the outside of the Aston Martin as he gets a kick of oversteer on the exit, pushing this Corvette to its limits. And as they go into the tricky braking zone for turn 10, we can look in Van Rompuy's mirror and see that number 54 Ferrari looking around the outside into the turn 10 hairpin as Van Rompuy once again gets a little kick of oversteer on the exit, but maintains his 7th position in this LMGT3 field. Now, although it may seem like the drivers threw caution to the wind the moment the green flag dropped, they're actually having to be cautious to not only keep the cars in one piece, but to be gentle on their tires. That's because they'll have to double stint over the course of this race, and with Bahrain being a high degradation circuit, if they aren't careful and gentle on the rubber, they will be forced to suffer the consequences later on in the stint. But as this stint continues, Van Rompuy has continued to stay close to this Aston Martin just out front. Ian James is once again slightly wide in his Aston Martin as Van Rompuy gets yet another kick of oversteer as he puts the power down. With this Corvette firmly in the draft of the Aston Martin out front, we can see the performance in a straight line of this number 81 car. As he pulls to the right-hand side, he easily breezes past this Aston Martin as he closes in on this 92 Manthey Racing Porsche heading into turn 1. Van Rompuy brakes late and is deep into turn 1, and his exit through turn 2 is compromised. If we look in the mirror, we can see that there is the Aston Martin closing in on this Corvette as they make their way into turn 4. Van Rompuy defends to the middle of the road as the Aston Martin looks around the outside, but Ian James thinks better of attempting an overtake as he falls in line behind through turn 4. As this stint continues, Van Rompuy is now putting pressure on this 92 Manthey Racing white and yellow, call it Wello, Porsche out front. Looking back from this Porsche, we can see how much top-end speed this Corvette really has as he once again closes in with that Porsche defending as they head into turn 1. He is deep and his exit is compromised through turn 2 as Van Rompuy now has a run as they exit turn 3, closing in underneath that rear wing of this Porsche 992. Heading into turn 4, Van Rompuy peeks up the inside and Malikin backs out of it as he allows Van Rompuy to make his way past and up into 5th position in this LMGT3 category. Next up in Van Rompuy's crosshairs is this number 85 Iron Dames Lamborghini with this beautiful screaming V10 engine. And as they head into turn 1, they brake as late as they dare, but it's too late for Sarah Bovey as she runs deep through the apex, and I'm going to sound like a broken record, but her exit is compromised through turn 2. Van Rompuy gets the overlap on the exit, and they run side by side down the back straight. but Sarah Bovie has the better line on the inside into turn 4. Van Rompuy brakes as late as possible, but if we look to the right, there is Sarah Bovie able to hold on to the position as Van Rompuy is underneath her rear wing on the exit of turn 4, heading into these fast corners. But if we look back from Bovie's car, we can see a gaggle of hypercar traffic trying to squeeze past these LMGT3 cars through this twisty section. The Corvette runs 3 wide with a Toyota and a BMW on the exit as he tries to race this Lamborghini while avoiding the hypercar traffic through the tricky braking zone into turn 10, and Sarah Bovie is run wide by the hypercars. Her exit is compromised, and once again, Van Rompuy is all over the rear of this number 85 Lamborghini as they hurtle down this straight into turn 11. Van Rompuy looks at the inside of the Lamborghini, but is not able to complete the move in that short braking zone into this fast left-hander. On the exit though, the Lamborghini hypercar comes past, and that compromises Sarah Bovie's run through this right-hander. She gets a little wiggle as she struggles to keep the car from spinning, and Van Rompuy is able to squeeze up the inside into turn 12 as he makes his way past the pink Lamborghini and up into 4th position as he now chases down the number 55 AF Corsa Ferrari. As they break into turn 4, we can see that he is not only closing in on the 3rd place car, but also the number 95 and number 59 McLarens that hold the top 2 spots. Through this fast sequence of corners, Van Rompuy uses all the curb on the right-hand apex, all of the curb on the left-hand apex, as well as he closes in on Harrio in that number 55 car. He pokes his nose up the inside into turn 8, the Ferrari leaving space at the apex, but Van Rompuy not able to get past as he puts the power down on the exit. That Ferrari now stretching its legs into the tricky braking zone for turn 10. The Ferrari runs slightly wide on the exit and uses all of the curb as he pushes that silver 296 to its limits to stay ahead of the number 81 car and to close in on the 2 McLarens out front. Van Rompuy flashes his lights going down the back straight as he tries to put pressure on this number 55 car heading into the braking zone for the final hairpin. We can see though, with this Ferrari and Corvette battling, they are still closing in on the 2 McLarens. So, as this top 4 makes its way down the front straight to complete another lap, this number 81 Corvette has latched itself onto the battle for the class lead. And looking back from this Ferrari, we can see that Corvette once again closing in. Van Rompuy sends it up the inside of the Ferrari into turn 1 as he squeezes past through the apex, but his exit is compromised and the Ferrari has a run coming out of turn 2. Through turn 3, he is tucked up underneath the rear wing of this number 81 Corvette as Harrio pokes his nose up the inside into turn 4. He brakes as late as he dares and squeezes 2x2 through the apex, but the Corvette is able to hold the outside and completes the move to put this number 81 Corvette into a podium position. This has been such an impressive charge through the field for Van Rompuy and this number 81 Corvette. Once again, peering out of the front windscreen of this Corvette, it looks like we're watching a Formula 1 race with 2 orange McLarens battling for the lead. Heading into turn 4, the number 59 car tucks into the draft of the 95 as he pokes his nose up the inside, and they both brake late and run wide through the apex. Van Rompuy, half a car's length from being in 2nd position, but backs out of it into these fast sweeping corners as the 59 runs deep through the right-hander. His exit is compromised to the left-hander, but Van Rompuy has nowhere to go as the McLaren places itself in the middle of the road. Van Rompuy looks around the outside, but tucks in behind the number 59 McLaren one more time as he struggles to put the power down in this Corvette. Into the tricky braking zone, and we can see the Corvette runs a tighter line through the apex with that McLaren running wide, its exit compromised. The Corvette has the run coming out of the corner, but once again, just nowhere to go as that McLaren just slightly pulls away in a straight line. Van Rompuy looks up the inside into the braking zone, but thinks better of it as he falls in line behind the McLaren through that fast left-hander. McLaren, though, once again struggling on the exit as Van Rompuy gets a little slide himself going through this fast right-hander and into turn 12. He backs off of this McLaren, giving himself a bit of breathing room as they head into turn 12. Through this fast right-hander, that number 59 McLaren just beginning to stretch its legs as it closes in once again on its teammate in the number 95. They both brake as late as they can, but the number 95 runs deep as the 59 switches over to the right-hand side to try to set up for a better exit. The 95 squeezes through at the apex, but his exit is compromised as the 59 car now has a run on the exit of turn 3 and gets its nose alongside as they now run side by side into turn 4. Van Rompuy tries to follow the number 59 car through past the 95 as he clatters over the apex curb. He is now side by side with the number 95 into this fast turn 6. He once again clatters the apex curb as he uses absolutely all of the road to get ahead of this number 95 car and to close in on the number 59. Into turn 8 though, Van Rompuy is really deep into the braking zone and concedes second position to that number 95 car as he has to dodge to avoid him on the exit, running all the way over that curbing. Into turn 10, the McLaren has a nose ahead, but Van Rompuy has the leverage on the inside line and squeezes past that number 95 McLaren to claim second place in his number 81 Corvette and to begin chasing down this number 59 McLaren. With the stint coming to an end, these two cars are still in lockstep as they slam on the brakes. These top two could not be closer as Van Rompuy makes his way into his box. And as he hits his marks, Van Rompuy jumps out to hand over to Charlie Eastwood. With the door slammed shut and the stop complete, Charlie Eastwood pulls this Corvette back onto the pit lane. And if we look out front of the number 81 car, we can see a clear track ahead, meaning that this TF Sport crew has jumped the number 59 car in the pit lane. So, after an incredible first stint from Van Rompuy, this number 81 car is now firmly in control of the LMGT3 category. Over the course of the day, this number 81 car has continued to lead this LMGT3 category. But with a Mustang now burning out on track, the safety car has come out. But that will throw a wrench into this number 81 car strategy, because as they pull into the pit lane with a comfortable lead, the team will not be changing tires. But that is not the case for their competitors, which are receiving brand new rubber in the pit lane. So, although this 81 car is leading as the race goes back to green, they are on the back foot with a field of GT3 drivers on fresh tires, hounding them for the race lead. Through the final hairpin and onto the front straight, the Iron Dames Lamborghini is sitting in second position with this Heart of Racing Aston Martin back in third. Both of them absolutely desperate to find a way past this number 81 Corvette. And down the front straight, the Iron Dames Lamborghini is firmly in the draft of the number 81 car as Rui Andrade tries to defend his position heading into turn 1. Bovie looks around the outside in the braking zone, but there is just no space to squeeze past that Corvette through turn 1. And as they make their way onto this long back straight, the Corvette gets a huge snap of oversteer as the Iron Dames Lamborghini is now running side by side as they head into the braking zone. Sarah Bovie brakes late around the outside and is able to hang on to claim first position for the Iron Dames crew as Alex Riberas and the Heart of Racing Aston Martin is now looking for a way past this 81 car, which is just struggling for grip through these high-speed corners as the rear end is sliding around. Alex Riberas sends a late move up the inside into the hairpin, and Andrade is unable to defend his position on these worn tires. He has a better run coming out of the exit though, but is on the outside as they head into the tricky braking zone for turn 10. He has no chance of defending the position as the Aston Martin now squeezes past through that left-hand hairpin, shuffling this Corvette back to third position in the LMGT3 category. But if we look in the mirror, we can see that the pressure that this Corvette is experiencing is unrelenting as the 59 McLaren is now hounding this number 81 car. The McLaren peeks up the inside into turn 1 with Andrade braking as late as he possibly can, but he runs deep through the corner and the McLaren easily squeezes past, shuffling the Corvette back to fourth position with the number 92 Manthey Racing Porsche now breathing down his neck. Klaus Bachler pokes his nose up the inside of this Corvette, letting him know that this Porsche driver is ready to overtake this number 82 car. We can see the train of GT3 cars behind this Corvette that are all desperate to find their way past. What a hopeless feeling this must be for Andrade as he is struggling with those worn tires on this Corvette. Into turn 8, Battler once again sends it up the inside of this Corvette, which runs wide and allows the 91 Porsche, the orange nose car, to also get ahead. But as they head into the double apex turn 10, he is running side by side with this 91 Porsche, who is around the outside. Andrade tries to brake as late as he can and hold the position through the apex, but the Porsche is able to use that outside line to get a better run through the corner and a better exit, now a nose ahead of this number 81 car. Into this fast left-hander, the Porsche holds its line around the outside, forcing this Corvette back to 5th, with these two silver Ferraris behind tripping over themselves as they try to fight their way past each other and the number 82 Corvette. The number 54 Ferrari ahead pokes his nose up the inside of the Corvette into turn 12, who leaves space at the apex, with the Ferrari clattering the curb and sliding on the exit as he tries to find his way past. But that gives Simon Mann in the 55 car the advantage as he uses the side draft on the number 54 to claw his way up alongside into the final hairpin. He brakes as late as possible, nearly taking out the Corvette through the apex, but that compromises his exit, and Regan has the better run coming out of the corner, once again getting ahead of Simon Mann, this number 55 Ferrari. Looking back from the Corvette, we can see the calamity unfolding behind between these two teammates, as once again Simon Mann pokes his nose up the inside of his teammate into turn 1, once again nearly hitting the rear of the Corvette as he clatters the apex curb. These Ferrari drivers are doing each other absolutely no favors as they fight tooth and nail for position. But as they head down the straight into turn 4, Simon Mann finally has this number 81 car in his sights. He brakes late, using all of the road on the entry and on the exit, and inches closer to this Corvette as they make their way through the fast sweeping corners. Once again, we can just see that Corvette struggling. It's painful to watch as the Ferrari sends it up the inside into turn 8, sending this Corvette down to 7th, with Regan nearly kissing this Corvette. I can't imagine how helpless Andrade feels at this point, unable to fight back into turn 10, and we can see that Ferrari squirming around as Regan uses every bit of grip possible to close in on this Corvette. Down the short straight into turn 11, and Regan flashes his lights at this Corvette as he pokes his nose up the inside and sends a late lunge up the inside of Andrade, who leaves space at the apex, allowing the Ferrari to pass as he is shuffled down to 8th position in the LMGT3 category. Mercifully, the safety car comes out, and at this point, the Corvette crew is able to change both driver and tires. So, with Eastwood back aboard, this Corvette will once again be on the front foot and able to fight its way forward through this LMGT3 field. But Charlie Eastwood has a massive amount of work ahead of him if he is going to claw this 81 Corvette back to the top of this LMGT3 field. And as they exit turn 10, Davide Regan is now looking for a way past Alessio Rovera, who is now in the number 55 Ferrari. The 54 car weaves down the straight as he picks up a draft on his fellow 296. We can see these hypercars now flashing past these battling GTs. Into turn 1, they are 3 wide with the Porsche hypercar looking for a way past as he locks up and nearly collects the Porsche GT3. The Ferraris run side by side through turn 2 as Regan kicks up dust and is compromised on the exit. Eastwood is able to squeeze his way up the inside and past that number 54 Ferrari, as we can see the number 55 now hounding the number 92 Porsche of Klaus Bachler as a hypercar comes flying up the inside of Eastwood as he leaves space at the apex, with the Ferrari and the Porsche going side by side into turns 6 and 7. The Ferrari able to squeeze its way past Klaus Bachler, who is now in the crosshairs of this Corvette driver. But around the outside, Regan fights back in the number 54 Ferrari. The Corvette is ahead at the exit and squeezes the Ferrari wide, but Regan keeps his right foot planted on the throttle as he holds the inside into turn 10. The Ferrari squeezing its way past the Corvette once again, but his exit is compromised as he carried too much speed through the apex. The Corvette now fighting back as they go 3 wide with hypercars screaming their way past into turn 11. This is incredible as Eastwood brakes late and goes up the inside of the Porsche as well, who leaves space at the apex. Bachler not able to fight back in his Porsche 992 as the Corvette driver squeezes his way past, and they nearly make contact as Regon fights his way back around the outside of the Porsche as well and continues to chase down Charlie Eastwood in the number 81 Corvette. Back aboard this Corvette as we ride shotgun with Charlie Eastwood, we can see the 55 Ferrari and the 59 McLaren battling into turn 1. The Ferrari has the inside line, but the McLaren hangs tough around the outside as they run side by side through turn 2 as well. The Ferrari has a better run on the exit, but McLaren is not giving up the fight just yet as he tucks into the draft. We can see the yellow nose of the Corvette though inching closer and closer as these two battle. The Ferrari holds onto 4th position through turn 4 as the McLaren settles in behind with its exhaust pipes glowing under the stadium lighting. Through this fast sequence of corners, these three cars are in absolute lockstep, but the McLaren slides through turn 6 and is compromised through turn 7. Charlie Eastwood has the run and pokes his nose up the inside into turn 8 as the number 55 Ferrari and this number 81 Corvette continue to scythe their way through this LMGT3 field. These two have caught the leading 3. It is now a 6. Make that 7-car battle for the lead of the race. Looking back from this Ferrari 296, we can once again see the yellow nose of the Corvette looming large in Alessio Rivera's mirrors. But up in front of Alessio Rivera is the number 92 Porsche as he pops his nose up the inside and makes his way past that Porsche 992 to hoist this Ferrari into a podium position as he is now directly behind the Iron Dames Lamborghini and 27 Heart of Racing Aston Martin, which leads the race. Now, looking back from the Ferrari, we can see the Porsche defending heading into turn 1 as the Corvette has caught the rear of that number 91 car. Eastwood pulls to the left as he brakes as late as possible, nearly hitting the rear of Alessio Rivera's Ferrari as the top two go side by side through turn 2. Their exits are compromised. Eastwood has a run. He clatters the curb and nearly loses control as he squeezes past the Iron Dames Lamborghini. And looking back from the Ferrari, we can see they are 3 wide with the 54 going around the outside of both of them, making a double overtake as he squeezes past the Corvette into these sweeping corners. I have never seen a double overtake before in turn 4 at Bahrain. What an incredible move to bring that 54 Ferrari up into 3rd position. But Charlie Eastwood is not giving up as Rivera squeezes past the Heart of Racing Aston Martin on the exit of turn 8. Eastwood goes around the outside as they head into turn 10 as well and is able to squeeze past in the braking zone, bringing this Corvette up to 3rd position in the LMGT3 category as he once again chases down these 2 silver AF Corse Ferraris. As the stint has continued, Eastwood has continued hounding the rear of these 2 Ferraris as he gets so close to the 54 through turn 1. But on the exit, there is going to be a virtual safety car, which means they have to slam on the brakes and hit their pit lane speed limiters. This brings up an interesting moment because the Corvette is just slightly faster on this pit lane speed button than the 2 Ferraris ahead. So, by the time that the race is ready to go back to green, the Corvette has caught these 2 Ferraris. Eastwood is quick on the button though and is past the number 54 Ferrari of Davide Regon as the race once again gets underway. 2 hypercars split the Corvette though and squeeze past the Ferrari ahead as they make their way into turn 11. The gloves have truly come off in this race as Eastwood runs a defensive line into the right-hander, trying to dissuade Davide Regon from making his way past this number 81 car, as Eastwood once again takes a defensive line and uses all of the apex curb to keep this number 54 Ferrari behind. Looking back from Rivera's car, we can see just how close Eastwood is to the race lead as he flashes his lights heading into turn 1. I have to say, I was skeptical about GT3s replacing GTE cars in the FIA WEC, but after watching this season of racing, I am so glad they did. The diversity, the cars, the teams, and the drivers have all been so incredible to watch. And as they head into turn 4, the Ferrari defends to the inside with Eastwood looking around the outside of that Ferrari. Rivera gets a better exit as he squeezes the 81 Corvette and defends to the middle of the road into this right-hander. Eastwood looks for a way past, but that's not possible through the sequence of right-left corners. And as they head into turn 8, that Ferrari is significantly ahead of the Corvette. Eastwood not able to throw a move up the inside of this 55 car. With the stint continuing, this battling has not relented as Eastwood pokes his nose into the mirrors of Alessio Rovera into turn 1. The Ferrari is not phased though, as he gets a little slide on the exit. The Corvette gets a slightly better run coming out of the corner, and through turn 3, Eastwood is fully tucked up underneath the rear wing of this Ferrari 296. Now, we don't have a great camera angle here, but we can see the Corvette in the mirror of this Ferrari as he looks around the outside into turn 4. Eastwood trying to carry as much speed as possible on this outside line as he uses all of the road on the exit, with the Ferrari pushing him to the left of the track. He has to fall in line behind through this fast sweeping corners, but the Ferrari's exit through this left-hander is compromised. Eastwood has a run now on the outside as they once again go side by side into turn 8. The Ferrari is able to defend on the inside, but Eastwood has the over-under, gets the better run coming out of the corner, and once again is on the outside. The Ferrari fights back in the braking zone as they go side by side through the entry. Once again, Eastwood is able to get a better run coming out of the corner as Rovera defends to the inside, with Eastwood for the 4th corner in a row on the outside of this Ferrari 296. Eastwood brakes at his marks, with Alessio Rovera pulling up the inside through this fast left-hander, but Eastwood once again has the over-under as he hip checks him through the exit of turn 11 into the right-hander. He is fully past that Ferrari 296 and takes over the class lead in LMGT3. Rovera is not giving up and pushes this Ferrari to its limits as he tries to stay close to this Corvette Z06. And as this stint comes to an end, Eastwood has been able to maintain the class lead as he slams on the brakes. But that Ferrari, if we look in the mirror, is still directly behind this Corvette as he pulls into his pit box for the final time in this 2024 season. With the tires replaced and the pit stop complete, he is dropped off of the air jacks and sent on his way to rejoin the race. But as he rejoins the track, he is now behind the 55 Ferrari. And if we look ahead as he heads into turn 4, there is the number 54 Ferrari as well. The Corvette has been shuffled back to 4th position in this pit sequence. With the stint continuing, Eastwood has put temperature into his tires and is closing in on the 54 Ferrari out front. But if we look in his rearview camera, we can see that they have company in the shape of the number 60 Iron Lynx Lamborghini of Cairoli. This will be an epic battle for the podium. And as they head into turn 1, an Alpine hypercar tries to squeeze past in the braking zone. This compromises Eastwood's run through turn 1 as he has to go on the outside of the Alpine. But the Ferrari is compromised as well on the exit, and the Lamborghini of Cairoli looks to take advantage of both of them as he makes it 3 wide heading down this short straight into turn 4. Make that 4 wide with the Ferrari hypercar going around the outside of all 3 of them. The 54 tries to turn in, but makes contact with the front of this Corvette, who squeezes up the inside of the Lamborghini on the exit, executing a beautiful over-under to claim 3rd position in a hectic turn 4. The Lamborghini, though, is not giving up and continues to chase down this Corvette through this fast sequence of corners. Now, as they head into turn 8, unfortunately we can't see it, but Eastwood squeezes up the inside of his teammate Danny Juncadella through this right-hand hairpin to claim 2nd position in the LMGT3 category. The Lamborghini tries to pass his teammate as well around the outside into turn 10, but Danny hangs tough on the inside and is able to consolidate 2nd and 3rd position for this Corvette crew. With his teammate able to fend off this Iron Lynx Lamborghini, Eastwood is free to chase down the class-leading 55 Ferrari once again. With 0 minutes left on the clock, the Ferrari is able to hang on to the class victory. But the Corvette crew can still hang their heads high with an impressive 2-3 finish in this ultra-competitive category. What an incredible end to this 2024 season, and I can say with certainty that we are all looking forward to 2025. Anyways, if you guys made it this far, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for watching and so much for supporting through this entire 2024 season. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you. I want to give a special shout out to all of my members. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. It means so much to me. I love you guys. Thank you again, and I will see you next time.